Oh, please don't pee, Ivy. That's all I ask.
Too long of a day.
I'm gonna try to put her on me, okay?
Oh my gosh, you see.
Oh my God, Ivy is getting so big. Of course, my green anaconda. Big snakes are amazing. Since I was 15, I've been keeping big snakes. I tell you what, Ivy is definitely one of the heaviest snakes I've ever kept. She's absolutely amazing. You want to keep big snakes, you have to understand there's a lot of responsibility when keeping a snake the size of Ivy. When these guys get around something, they just rip right down. They get around the edge of a table, they get around a couch or a lamp, they're gonna destroy it. They are so strong and heavy. Oh my God, it's literally breaking my back right now.
Now you have ball pythons like Honey here who will not destroy your house. But if you're not careful,
they could play hide and seek on you.
like this couch right here. If you're sitting, you take a nap, your snake's gone. Why? Because it could disappear anywhere.
Oh, by the way, where is Honey? Mike.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Honey?
Honey, Honey. Oh my God, Brian's gonna kill us. Oh, it's Sandra.
Oh, good.
Honey, you gave us a heart attack.
It's almost as bad as running.
Just needed to take off a little pressure on my spine.
She is so big, Brian.
She has got heavy. I mean, just feel that weight.
So when she goes in the water and pees,
My fault.
you gonna clean it up?
I'm gonna have you clean it up. Dang it. We have a rule here at the Reptarium that any snake over 8 foot really needs 2 people on hand to handle. That doesn't mean at every given moment, like I can be handling as long as someone's within an earshot of me, or at least close enough if something bad happens. Listen, these snakes are very, very big. They're very strong. And if for some reason they're just kind of grabbing onto you, thinking you're a tree, holding onto you, it can sometimes get you into kind of serious situations. Again, snakes aren't evil. They're not trying to kill you. You never know what's gonna happen. So if a snake is over 8 foot long and you're thinking about keeping it on your own, maybe you live on your own, you don't have someone with you, it's something you really want to consider, not putting yourself in danger with a giant snake. I'm not trying to demonize these animals because they're absolutely amazing, but hey, if something bad happens, you need to have someone else there. So again, if you got to clean some poop, or if it sheds, or cleaning that water bowl, or taking out, it's something to consider when you're thinking about keeping a giant snake, if it actually is the right thing for you.
And unlike the big snakes, Maisie here's a perfect example of I don't need anybody around. And it works really, really well if you don't have any friends.
Oh, Mike, I'm your friend.
Thanks, Connie. And thank you, Maisie.
Now, a giant snake that's super tame like my girl Ivy or Sunrise, hey, that's amazing to handle. But when you have a 20-foot snake like Lucy over here that isn't always in the best of moods, she's doing our tape today. Oop, I don't want to be in this position. You always want to keep her going the right direction. Come on, girl, it's all right. Oh my gosh, she is a big snake and she's got a lot of energy. I'm trying to just get to a point where I can actually get her. Come on, keep moving. And now she's getting a little bit mad. You can see her S-ing up and stuff like that. And once the snake starts to striking, it's a whole different thing. And that's the thing, not every giant snake is tame. Some giant snakes have a little bit of an attitude, and we know Lucy has an attitude. I'll be honest with you, I love it. I love her attitude, and I love the fact that it kind of gives me a little bit of a challenge holding her and not knowing what's going on. I have to use all those years of experience of handling giant snakes to understand her temperament, what she's thinking, what she's going to do, when she might turn around and strike, and it's really cool. But again, it's something to consider.
A bite from a little ball python like this, no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal at all.
But when you have a 20-plus foot snake that wants to take a snap at you, it's a little bit more serious. Lucy seems to be in a pretty good mood right now, but I did notice that her glass is a little bit dirty, so let's go get Mike. Hey, Connie, Lucy's glass is looking a little bit shabby. You guys mind taking care of that for me?
We got it.
Here's her keys. Have fun. She might not be in the best of moods.
Brian always bossing me around. What does he think? He owns the place?
There's just some fingerprints and GoPro marks because I love the GoPro, so I took up so much. Thank you, Jay. Connie, you want to do the outside or the inside?
Outside.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Taking these with me.
There's a big old handprint right there.
Everybody's like they're scared or something when they come in here, so they touch
Thank
the
you,
glass.
son. You didn't bring enough Windex.
No, I brought enough for me.
Okay.
Oh Lord Jesus. Get the GoPro mark. Where's Lucy? You better stop. Where's
Lucy.
Hey, Gotti, where's that handprint?
There's like a whole line of.
That's on the outside. I don't like my butt towards her. She already tried to get me once in a no good place.
He really complains a lot. Hey, let's make it synchronized.
Sync it.
Oh wait, you're doing it really.
You're not even on my level, dude.
Gemma went 15 months without eating. That's right, a year and 3 months, and she did not take one meal. But now she's back on food. You can see this giant lump in her right here. And that's one of the things when you get giant snakes. Giant snakes eat giant things, right? And again, a smaller snake isn't that big of a deal, but with an animal like this, she's gonna eat probably about 15 pounds of meals per week or every 7 to 10 days. Whether that's frozen rabbits or frozen pigs, it doesn't matter. It's about 15 pounds of food she's gonna get every 7 to 10 days. Now that 15 pounds with me buying it wholesale in bulk is still pretty expensive. But if you're buying retail, you're talking about something about $30 to $40 per week to feed this animal. So you might be talking somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,500, maybe even closer to $2,000 a year if you're just keeping one snake and having to buy that on a retail level. That's a lot of money to keep a giant snake. So again, something to consider if you want something really giant.
But this, Luna, the albino high white Cal King, only eats like small mice right now. And guess what? That's like $1 or $2 from PetSmart a week. So that's like 50 some dollars, $100. I don't know, I'm bad at math. But that's not that expensive.
Wow, it sounds like a cheap date, huh, Mike?
My paper towel fell.
Why would you put your paper towel there?
It rolled down the waterfall.
Oh, really gotta babysit this guy, if you know what I mean.
Hold that.
He hit me in the face.
Look at this. Corner of her mouth is open.
This is stupid. Dude, she is not happy. And the worst thing is I put the keys up there so I wouldn't get locked in. Now I gotta get him to lock her in.
Bye, Lucy.
I kind of like cream glass.
Looks like you're wiping his butt.
Did you? Can you move your butt?
Now, if you're listening to all this and you're still thinking like, hey, I need a giant snake. And listen, you guys know I love giant snakes. Like I said, I've been keeping them since I was 15 years old. I've never had one day since I was 15 years old that I haven't had a giant python in my collection. So I absolutely love them. But again, a 18 or 20 foot snake isn't necessarily for everyone. You might want to consider something more a little bit handleable when it comes to the giant snakes. And what I mean by that is that reticulated pythons, you can get that are a little bit smaller. Typically, the ingredients that make cow reticulated pythons in particular are a little bit smaller. So you basically have an animal that rarely exceeds 12, 13, maybe 14 foot on the absolute maximum size, but they're not nearly as bad. They're still beautiful animals and they're much more handleable and much more attainable to keep as a pet than a 20 foot snake, right? So that's one thing you do. You can even get dwarf reticulated pythons that literally only get like, 7, maybe 8 foot long. Now the dwarfs sometimes have a little bit more of an attitude, something to think about, but they actually can be really good animals. So again, you can get a reticulated python, just not one of the giants if you pick the right animal.
You're gonna get bit, Mike.
I'm gonna have a heart attack in this cage.
Just tell her you're cleaning her cage.
I'm cleaning the closer, don't kill me.
Sure, it's for her, not for us.
This is fun.
Where? I hate you.
Another thing you gotta really consider when you're talking about giant snakes is the fact that you have to keep them in relatively giant enclosures. And depending on how you want to keep them, you can really deck them out a lot and cost a ton of money. Listen, there's a lot of really cool cages out there that are like, custom cages that are relatively cheap. The Vision cages and so on like that, they actually do pretty well. They're really good and it doesn't cost you that much money. But then you can go more elaborate with something like this and you're talking about tens of thousands of dollars. Big snakes take big enclosures, which mean you got big money to put them in, right? When they start small, they're actually pretty cool, but as they get bigger, like Jeffrey here, this is actually a 6 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot tall cage. Now this animal is going to get much, much larger. He's not going to stay in here that much longer. He's about ready for a cage upgrade. The next cage is going to be 8 foot by 6 foot by 4 foot or 5 foot tall. You got to keep in mind what kind of snake it is, right? Burmese pythons really don't climb a whole lot, so I don't need a lot of vertical, right? When you think about reticulated pythons, they like to climb, so you want a taller cage so that they can actually climb and use branches. So you got to know your animals, but giant snakes definitely cost a lot of money when it comes to giant enclosures.
A small snake, like the scaleless Texas rat snake Joker, can live his whole life in like a 40-gallon tank, and that's probably a couple $100.
Yeah, you can even buy starter sets now.
Only a couple $100. You know what you can do with the rest of the money on a big cage? Ice cream.
Ice cream! I'm loving this. I don't know why you're crying.
You over and I'm out.
Audi 500. Woo woo.
Next time you're on the inside.
See, if you're short and you work here, it's not to your advantage.
My heart rate's up. That was exhilarating. I think it's time to just lock her up and call it good. Then we'll do the outside of the door because that's important.
Good job, good job, good job.
Lock security. I'm done.
Never a boring day here.
But listen, with all that said, if you want a giant snake, I don't want to deter you from it whatsoever. What I want to give you is the pros and cons to keeping these amazing animals. Listen, if you keep one, there is no doubt the ups are incredible. I mean, the relationships you can get with a giant snake, especially things like Ivy here, or some of the reticulated pythons, or Burmese pythons are really, truly incredible. But you have to remember the responsibility that you come with it too. I mean, it's amazing. I couldn't imagine life without my girl Ivy here. She's so big and so amazing. I just want you to make a responsible decision, because what I don't want to have happen ever is you to get a giant snake, they get too big, and then what are you going to do with it, right? That's not good for us. It's not good for the image of the reptile keeping hobby. I want people to make the right decision. Just like I talk about alligators not being pets, big snakes aren't necessarily pets for everyone, but if you think you have what it takes, hey, go for it. Just make sure you do your right research, and remember, it's a lot of work, a lot of money, and a lot of responsibility. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, there's a playlist that you can watch all kinds of videos. You can also hit that subscription button. It would mean a lot to me. Also, hit that like button while you're down there. Have a wonderful day, Reptile Army. Remember, I just needed to take off a little pressure on my spine. Yep.